Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
Jack, do you see Walter's question? All right. Maybe I just received. What do we need to do from a fiscal and monetary policy standpoint for the U.S. to be the demand source of our own supply and create this strong stock market and currency growth you've mentioned?
Well, I just think we need to just reduce the size of government tremendously. You know, lop off stuff like the Education Department, the Department of Commerce, the Energy Department. They're all useless departments. We need to just unleash the entrepreneur in the U.S. in a very, very big way. They're the ones that ultimately create drives and create future wealth. And the current administration has penalized the small business. The prior administration, did all it could to turn this into a, supposedly giant government conservatism, and they blew the doors off of government growth too. But the government creates nothing; they just take from the private sector. So there has to be ways to just lop off government and let your entrepreneur class, which has always been the driver of growth in the U.S. when we've gotten in these cycles, achieve. If you're going to, it just comes down to, this whole idea. It gets into the class warfare thing, which is the game the government plays, to me. But ultimately, as you can see, even Obama is capitulating, realizing that he has to move and free some real, money up to the real economy and let people, keep their wealth, and it'll take care of itself. That's my general statement on it. From a monetary policy standpoint, what we just talked about, don't use the U.S. dollar as a liquidity source for the global economy. The U.S. dollar has to drive, is the source of growth, because of its, demand. But you don't make a country wealthier by having an explicit policy of cheapening its currency. And what's so funny in the U.S., economists say, well, they have to reduce the value of the dollar for us to increase our exports. Well, look at Germany. They've been sitting on a pretty high currency, and they're blowing and going. Look at Australia. Their currency is doing pretty well, and their exports are blowing and going. So these ideas are really just false arguments. You don't create wealth by trashing your currency. So from a monetary policy standpoint, that just has to stop, and you have to let interest rates find their regular market value instead of suppressing them. All that stuff is hard. All that stuff is difficult to do, but it just comes back to just allow more market-oriented policies to, take place. It's not rocket science. It's really not. It's just the political will to do it.
Jack, do you have any closing comments? I think that was one, but first of all, I want to say thank you for all of the events that you've done in 2010. You're one of our favorite guests as measured by the attendees. I read all of the comments, and you are probably the most popular one, so thanks.
Oh, well, that's nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. No, I've enjoyed doing it, and I enjoy these questions. They force us to think. We never try and assume that, anything we say is right. And I think if you try and start from that standpoint, you're always trying to be critical about your views, and I think that's where, you have to start. And accepting these edicts from, people that don't really have a market-oriented or have not really traded and seen real capital flow is a problem. So I would just say be very, very open. And that's what I've found, and I know you're the same, Steve. You just have to be open and see what the market's giving you. And not get too strident, even though you have to have enough long-term confidence to have a view.
Exactly right. Confidence, but not overconfidence, or complete overconfidence.
Right. Easier said.
That's hard. It definitely. Jack, thanks so much for everything you've done for us here at the IC in 2010, and on behalf of the attendees, thanks again. I've gotten about a dozen thank yous in the last minute, all saying thanks so much, Jack. So thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all your great questions. Thanks for hanging in there. Take care.
Thanks, Jack. That was Jack Crooks, Jack is the president of Black Swan Capital. Please go and check out www.blackswantrading.com. They have their currency currents professional. They even have their currency currents free daily. If you want to go to the website, go and check that out. Please go and if anything that Jack said makes sense to you, which I'm sure it does, go back and go to blackswantrading.com. One last webinar in 2010 here at the IC. Nicole Watts will be with us. She's the Director of Education at Trade King. She'll be talking about condors and butterflies. So if you like to sell options, please join our last webinar of 2010. And also, I'm interested in your view of 2011, how we can make this program stronger, your wish list about different topics. Please type them in our survey at the end of the webinar. On the behalf of the International Securities Exchange, this is Steve Meisinger, wishing you a safe and happy trading day tomorrow. And again, look forward to seeing you in 2011. Next week, I'm actually going to be away, so I'll be away, so I'll have a fill-in. So I look forward to seeing you all in 2011. Thanks so much. Take care now.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.